Hey, I'm Ben,
I'm Rom.
and welcome back to the One Piece versus 4K podcast, where we compare the One Piece 4Kids anime to the Funimation dub, sometimes sub, and throw in comparisons to the manga. We are back today for episode 29 from my end. I think this is the episode 30 from Rom's end.
Yep.
So yeah, we are back. Sorry for the hiatus. Everyone got their vaccines. Almost had to skip tonight too. I thought, but we are back.
Yeah. Looking, I think it's just I think with all the vaccine side effects and like when we were like taking all the vaccine, it's just like one of those things that just kind of kept colliding over and over. So yeah, it was kind of like a long break, but yeah, we're back.
Yep. What's been going on with you?
So I mean, now it feels like forever ago now, but since we last recorded the show, the final episode, the final chapter of Attack on Titan released,
On
and
Attack on Titan season 4, part 1.
sorry, the final episode of part one also released, as well as the final chapter of the entire story released since we last recorded. And it's so I'm not going to react to the final chapter. I won't give any kind of reaction to it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But it's just like this. It's a weird feeling because like this is like something that was very popular for like a decade, and it just feels weird that it's like over. Like it's such a popular show and a popular series. And like the thing is like since the chapters are released on a monthly basis, it was one of these things where it's just like, oh man, you gotta, once you finish chapters, it's like, oh, you gotta wait a whole month because that's just the schedule that it was on. And then when he released that final chapter and we read that final chapter and it was done, it took like a minute to sink in that like, oh man, there's gonna be no more chapters after this chapter. And it feels weird that like, because there is this kind of like transition period between this is kind of something I talk about, like there's like this transition period between like putting up speculation theories on what's going to happen to now doing retrospects of like the series, and like, oh, and like little things that like we don't look at in the episode that's very relevant to what's going on later. So so the retrospects and everything have been like happening for like the past few weeks and stuff. Obviously, if you want to watch the show and don't want to get spoiled on it, avoid those subreddits and stuff. But yeah, it just kind of feels weird that the show is that the series is over for me. I am looking forward to seeing it animated because there's like some insane stuff that happens that I'm really looking forward to watching it get animated. So I'm looking forward to part two of season four when it comes out in like 7 8 months. It's winter 2022, and it's when we say winter 2022, we may think it's like next year, but it's actually in like 6 7 months. January 2022 is probably when it's going to start. Maybe like December 2021, something like that. So that's when the final, and like they've already started animating the final season, anyways. So yeah, looking forward to that. Besides that, on the One Piece end, a lot of chapters dropped, and honestly, the Wano arc, it just keeps getting better and better. Like it's just, man, this arc is so amazing. And like the last two chapters, the fight scenes that Luffy has been on has been like so insane. And like there's this one thing that a lot of people were speculating for the longest time, and then it happened in that chapter, and everybody's just like it was actually trending on Twitter. It was actually when the spoilers leaked on Twitter. it was actually trending, I think number one or number two on Twitter, and it was like such an insane thing, and not like the specialized thing for like the person, but like regular trending, worldwide trending. It was actually like trending one or two when that chapter released, and it was like an insane chapter. So One Piece manga and has been amazing, and like the episodes that they've been like putting out have also been like really great because they're currently in the flashbacks right now, and like the flashbacks have been really great. We are kind of like getting closer to the conclusion of the flashbacks in the Wano arc. I think we'll probably have, I want to say maybe one or two episodes. Well, definitely one more episode at least. Possibly two. I don't know if they're going to try to wrap up the remainder of the flashbacks in one episode or two. So we're almost back to um, the present and what's going on in the present. It's going to be insane. So that's kind of been what's going on in terms of that. So that's what's been going on with me. But how about you? What's been going on with you for the past
Yeah,
few weeks?
I actually I don't even remember the answer to this question. I think I knew it before,
Mhm.
but I think since last episode, it's been a while. Did you finish the Snyder Cut yet?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, actually, I forgot to tell you. This past weekend, way long ago, I finished the Snyder Cut, and I also finished Titans. But this past weekend, I started watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I finished that, and I'm currently watching WandaVision.
Oh, nice. I wait. So did Falcon and the Winter Soldier end?
Yeah. It
Oh, okay.
ended this past weekend.
All right, then we might start watching it. We were waiting for it to end first. Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think I had heard that it ended. Okay. Yeah. How far are you in WandaVision?
I think two episodes in.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So you're. It starts off really slow. It gets really good. You're you're at the parts where it's. I think at the end of the episode two, it starts getting a little bit more interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, episode one was also kind of interesting because like it was just like it felt out of place.
Yeah.
And then like especially the dinner scene where like when he was like choking, I was just like,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, it's like a weird scene. So it's like, are they gonna break out? And so yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the rest. And then I guess after I finish this, maybe I'll start the Man. How many episodes is the Mandalorian?
I think. I think there's like 12 or 13 in the first season and 12 in the other second.
Oh, so there's been two seasons of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, man, it is so good. It is amazing. I
Oh
think you'll
man,
really enjoy it.
24-hour long episodes, man.
They're
Uh,
not. They're. They're like 45 minutes.
yeah, I gotta pace it.
I
I don't know.
honestly,
It's like,
dude, the pacing of this show is so much better than like freaking Arrow. Like I'm telling
mm,
you, it's like the episode will go by like that. But yeah, the
yeah,
WandaVision's like 30 minutes, right? Or was
I think it's something like that. Yeah,
it seems shorter, anyways. But yeah, it
yeah,
they're good. I'm was Falcon and the Winter Soldier good?
yeah. No, it was really good. I honestly thought I would like space it out over a course of a few days, but I ended up just watching it all in one setting.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah. So yeah.
I'll have to
But
watch that. I
yeah.
I've been really enjoying the Mighty Ducks series on Disney Plus. I probably should have just waited. I've been watching it like I was so excited for this for so long, and they finally came out with it, and so I've been watching it. One episode a week, but like just the anticipation is killing me.
Is it like a continuous story? Like it's all like one continuous story in a season, or is it like kind of broken up like individual episodes?
It's like a, I mean, it is broken up in episodes, but it's just it always shows you what's gonna happen in the next episode, and you're like, oh my god.
Okay, so it's not like so is it standalone like episodes, or is it like there's like a
No,
story in it?
they're continued.
Oh, okay. That's kind of what I was wondering.
I
Okay,
mean,
cool.
so far, I mean, I like the original movies a lot, but
Mhm.
I think I think it lends itself better to a show, just because there's more stories you can tell, I guess. But
Hmm.
it's
Okay.
interesting. Uh, yeah. Other than that, I've just been so this past Friday I was off. Uh, I guess Thursday was Earth Day, but we were off on Friday. Um,
Hmm.
and I didn't do that much on Friday, I don't think. But on uh, Saturday, yeah, on Saturday I ended up hacking my Wii U and then it- put some game on it that I had played like maybe like 4 years ago called Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. It's a Nintendo 64 game, and
Hmm.
I've been playing that. I I played like I got like through half of it on Sunday, and then I just started playing some more today, and I'm just really enjoying that game. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what
Okay.
I've been playing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, I guess we should get into the episode here.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see how much I actually remember about this episode. I wrote the notes. I think I wrote the notes for this episode 2 weeks ago. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, let's see how much I remember. So, this is episode 29. The new crew.
Mhm.
Uh, so the episode opens with Luffy waking up and screaming, "Where's the straw hat?" And Sanji says, "Oh, it's just on the shelf." Um, I, s- I mean, well, we know why the straw hat, means so much to him.
Yeah.
But I guess this is like kind of going to be a reoccurring theme because something like that has happened before.
Yeah. No. The Straw Hat. It's Luffy's. It's his main biggest treasure. Like
Yeah,
he like it's the one thing that like he'll it's yeah, it's like his biggest, it's like his most personal treasure. And like if he's ever away from the Straw Hat, he'll like bawl and cry and like yeah. And then there's actually a huge significance of the Straw Hat over the course of the story, and its role actually gets bigger and bigger. um like yeah.
yep. So, anyways, he realizes where the hat is, and then he asks where the pirates are, and Sanji reminds him that they've gone and that Geen said he'd meet him at the Grand Line. So, I mean, he really just got knocked out and forgot everything that happened. Um,
Mm.
Luffy asks Sanji to join him again once more as as Sanji is walking away. Luffy grabs him by the throat to try to get him to stay. Sanji says he can't now, but he wants to go to the Grand Line Sunday. Then Sanji tells Luffy about the Great Blue and how you can find every fish in the whole world. Uh,
Mm.
while this is going on, Zeph is overwatching Sanji talking to Luffy about the Grand Blue and is thinking to himself that it might be time to let him go. So is this the same from yours?
A little different. And I'll get to that. And I'll tell you some of the differences with that. When I meant to say that the hat gets a bigger role in the story, to Luffy, it's not like it's it's just his treasured hat that Shanks gave him. It's just in the overarching story, it's like big, but like for Luffy, it's just like yeah, for Luffy and his crew, it's just like his close personal treasure. For the readers, it's like a huge thing. Just want to make that little clarification. But yeah, as far as this episode, yeah, it is kind of a little different. That so in the regular show, it's actually called the All Blue, not the Grand Blue. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so the reason they call it the All Blue is Sanji kind of talks about how it has fish from the East Blue, the South Blue, the North Blue, and the West Blue. All the blue meet at this one part, and that's apparently called the All Blue, and that's where like all the fishes from all the four different seas That's where like you can find like fish from all four different seas. So yeah, that's and yeah, so that's kind of the main difference between I guess the Four Kids and the Funimation.
Got it. So yeah, then Sanji and Luffy are walking into the Brady, and they notice that all the chefs are eating and being quiet. They tell Sanji and Luffy they need to eat on the floor because there's no room. All of a sudden, Patty asks who made the soup, to which Sanji replies it was him. Uh, Patty says it's the worst soup he's ever made, and he thinks he's going to barf. Luffy doesn't care and just continues to eat. Um, Sanji tells Patty if he doesn't like it, then maybe he'd like to eat some pig slop instead. He then asks for a second opinion for the other pirates to all tell him. And this is a funny part that is has to be exclusive to Four Kids. They all tell him that his soup sucks as much as his lousy lollipop in his mouth.
Oh man.
So, do you remember what the joke was in the Funimation version?
I mean, I just remember that like they were just trashing his soup. They
Mm-hmm.
said it tasted like slop and it tasted like dirt, and Sanji said, "Oh, that's perfect," because he made a joke about how Patty like how he thought slop was what Patty preferred since Patty's like a pig or something, and yeah, so not quite
Yeah.
the lollipop joke, but yeah,
So Patty then, well, I figured they might have said something about his cigarette, but I guess not.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but Patty says, it's awful. It smells like skunks and tastes like gym socks. Zeph comes out and says that chefs at sea, uh, that they are chefs at sea and they can't waste food. And he finishes eating the rest of the soup, and then just throws the bowl on the ground. And he says the soup is so bad they can't serve it to anybody, and they'd hang them on the pot racks and leave them to dry if they served it. Sanji starts to get really pissed and grabs Zeph, and Zeph pushes him into the floor and says he's been cooking for a long time and he's not joking. So is this a little bit the same?
So I wanted to ask you, like, when he drops the bowl on the floor, does it break?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wanted to see if it was one of those things where Four Kids like modified it so that it doesn't break to kind of send bad lessons about breaking plates or something. Because yeah, I mean yeah, Zeph finishes the soup and throws it and like breaks the thing, and he tosses Sanji to the floor when Sanji grabs him and stuff. So yeah, so a lot of
Yeah.
it, yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, Sanji runs out upset and jumps overboard. Luffy continues to finish the food and starts talking about how yummy the soup is. Zeph's crew all agrees and tells Luffy were tricking him because it's the only way um, that string bean will come around, as he's stubborn. Sanji is outside overhearing it all as Zeph asks Luffy to take him to the Grand Line to see the Great Blue. Sanji feels upset and says he guesses he can't teach an old geezer new tricks. Sanji then tells Zeph no way, and he wants him to come along because he cooks like a champ, but he doesn't think Sanji will ever agree. Sanji's still, listening in, eavesdropping, and all of this. Um, After he's listening to this, um, a a man inside of a in the world am I have no clue what I wrote.
Is it like a
A
shark figure?
Yeah, a man inside of a shark comes crashing into the ship. Is that what happened?
Yeah, it was like this weird like shark like fish that just yeah
Yeah.
crashes on the
Okay.
ship.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So for I don't know what in the world I wrote, but for some odd reason I wrote a panda shark.
Yeah, it's a weird looking fish.
Yeah. Um. So Then Luffy realizes that it was Yusaku, and he asks where Nami is. Yosaku says he's found him and tells him that Nami kept tricking them every time they tracked her down. Um, they tell him that where she's going, Johnny and him can't go alone without Luffy. Sanji then decides that he will go with Luffy and tells him he will become king of the pirates, and he will be the chef if they'll have him. Luffy and Yusaku jump up and down with joy as Sanji thanks the rest of his crew for all they've done. Patty says he's not going to let him get away with it as Sanji tells him he's tired of his bad acting. Zeph then says, "So this is goodbye. I never liked snotty brats, and that he should have fed him to the fishes when he had a chance." To which Sanji replies, "Hasta la vista, old geezer." So is this pretty much the same?
I mean, obviously the language is
Except for
very,
some of the dialogue.
yeah, yeah, for the most part, pretty much the same. So yeah, basically, is it Yosaku, who comes in and Luffy, once he gets kind of debriefed from Yosuke about like the dangerous place that Nami's going to, they were like about to head out, but yeah, Sanji said, "Yeah, I'm gonna join your crew. You have an open chef position, so I'll join it." And yeah, Luffy and Yosuke, they're happy that they got a cook now, and yeah, and then yeah, so Patty and them, like Patty and the chefs, they tried to ridicule Sanji, but he calls him out, says he heard everything. He says they're still bad actors and stuff. So yeah.
Hmm. So at this point, this is an interesting thing that happened. I feel like Zeph's crew is handing over the food to Luffy,
Mhm.
um, and they're just handing tons of food over, and Luffy comes up to Zeph, or as Zeph comes up to Luffy and tries to hand him his log from the Grand Line, and Luffy declines the offer as Sanji. At the same time, Sanji is looking at an old picture of him and Zeph reminiscing about the good old days and thinking back to when they started the Barati and how Zeph made him assistant chef. The part that was just interesting to me is why Luffy would decline the log.
That's just in Luffy's nature, and this is something that this is something I guess like that we kind of like learn as time goes. Just Luffy doesn't like um anything predetermined, like he's all up for an adventure, and like this is very spoilerish, but yeah, four kids is never going to reach it. But so what happens is that close to the midpoint of the anime, they actually meet the first captain, or the vice captain of the Roger Pirates. Of like he's basically Roger's right hand guy, his first crew member, and the vice captain. And like so, when they meet him, uh, they ask it, like one of the crew members asks him about you know where the One Piece is and all of that, and Luffy straight up tells him, and obviously I'm giving spoilers for this, but yeah, Luffy straight up tells him, "Hey, look, if you tell me where the Grand Line is, I will stop the adventure right now, and I will stop being a pirate." Like and yeah, so that's kind of like Luffy's thing. He wants to go on an adventure. He won't like do any of these kind of predetermined things. Like, um, he doesn't want to know what's going to happen. Like, it's that's the adventure aspect that he really likes. And they actually do reference this in an animated movie that was recently released called I forgot what it was called. Uh, it was like this movie that came out. Um, One Piece. I think it was like Stampede. Yeah, Stampede. And what you find out at the end of the movie is there is this thing that gets you to where the One Piece is, and when Luffy sees that, he breaks that thing. Like he destroys that thing, and people are shocked, but that's just Luffy's nature.
But see, I feel like that this part had a very good had a very good opportunity for a callback, but I guess it's never going to happen. I was thinking that there was going to be a point where they decided they needed to get part of his log or something. No, I guess not.
No, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, that's just kind of the Luffy's nature. Like, he doesn't want to like know something ahead of like he just doesn't
Okay, well,
want to.
Luffy may not, but what if other people may want to know?
He wouldn't allow it, dude. Like I said, like one of the crew members tried to ask Rayleigh, like, where is it? And then uh, Luffy straight up says, if you tell him, I'm gonna stop it. And so because of that, they understand his passion for adventure and stuff and the unknown. And it rubs off on his crew members too because there's a person that we're gonna meet who's trying to find out this one thing, and when they ask a question about this one thing, the guy's like, I can tell you, or you can find out yourself. And this person was like, sure, I'll just find it myself. And yeah, that's kind of how it is. Like it rubs off on their entire crew. Like they understand Luffy's thing and they get it. So they just don't do that either.
Gotcha. Well, all right. So circling back around to what was happening. So yeah, Sanji's just reminiscing about the old times. He remembers how he used to make terrible soup, and then he got better. And he also remembers Zeph telling him one day he will get so good he will be a chef of his own. So Sanji's ready to leave aboard the ship as Patty and Carney try to jump Sanji, and he, kicks them and knocks them out with his famous kick. All the other members stand in silence to see him off. Luffy and Sanji. Luffy asks if Sanji is ready for duty, to which Zeph comes out and says, String Bean, you are not an assistant anymore, but the real thing. To which point Sanji is seen in complete tears, crying and thinking about all that him and Zeph have been through. He bows down and thanks him, and that he'll never forget him, and that he's always been like a father to him. Zeph starts crying too as Patty and Carney come in and join, and kind of add a little bit of comedy to the emotional scene. Um, I wrote waterworks are everywhere as all the other pirates start to cry as well.
Chef.
Zeph wipes his eyes and the pirate chefs. Uh,
Yeah.
he wipes his eyes and says, "Enough of this." As Luffy screams, "Goodbye, you guys!" They sail off into the sea as Zeph tells Sanji to find the Great Blue for him and himself. He then tells the rest of his crew to get back to work as they have customers to feed. And at the very end of the episode, we see some mysterious tower that Nami is headed to which he says, "Be ever so humble, there is no place like home."
Hmm. So yeah, the dialogue is very different. Um, so basically, yeah, this is a very emotional scene. So, uh, while Sanji is like headed out, yeah, you see the Patty and the other guy tried to jump him, and I keep forgetting the other guy's name.
Patty
But
and Carney.
yeah, Carney, they tried to jump him, and Sanji does his kick, and they walk away. And as he's like walking through, everybody's like all quiet and stuff, and Luffy actually asks him, "Hey, do you want to say goodbye to everyone?" And Sanji's like, "No, it's fine. We're fine. We can just go." Um, kind of brushes it off. And then Zeph's kind of at the top. He's like, "Hey, kid, take care of yourself," or something. And then at that moment, like all his emotions just come in, and then like Sanji's just like bawling and crying, and then he like Jun turns around and says, "Hey, thank you for all that you've done to me and for taking me in and teaching me and stuff." And then like he starts crying a lot, and then all the chefs that he's worked with, they start crying. Patty and Carney, they start crying. It's like a huge scene, and like even Zeph cries, um, and then yeah, Zeph kind of comments about how like men shouldn't be crying as we send each other off or something like that. Um, and then yeah, and the thing is like, so when I first watched the show, first time I ever watched it, yeah, dude, I definitely almost like yeah, there not to the extent that they cried, but yeah, it was like I was like really. It was like a very emotional scene. I almost
But
cried.
but so that's strange though, because if it actually to me, I mean, I didn't watch the Funimation version, but it actually to me seems more sentimental in the Four Kids version, since because in the flashback, he's a terrible chef, and then you see him telling him that one day he'll be a chef of his own, and then like with him saying that he's not an assistant anymore, but the real thing. That's what makes him cry in the Four Kids anime.
Oh, so I mean, in the Funimation, like when he when he like has the flashbacks to when they first start the Baratie, Zeph tells Sanji, "Hey, look, if there is like a starving customer who doesn't have any money, but you see that they're starving, we're gonna feed those guys." And Sanji
Oh yeah, so
obviously,
that wasn't even in that.
oh okay, it was just like when Sanji was kind of reminiscing about the past.
Hmm.
Kind of like when he was kind of reminiscing about the past while he was packing up to leave and stuff. Yeah, and then I think it's just kind of what they've been through. Obviously stranded at sea for
Hmm.
all that time, and having to obviously Zeph having to resort to eat his leg, and like Sanji having to just like eat like molded up bread and stuff, and having to starve and barely surviving, and then starting up this restaurant, and like him growing up, like Zeph is like a father figure to him and stuff. So it's just all the emotions kind of hit all at once. And so when I watched it, I definitely I wouldn't say I was like crying to the extent of like the way Sanji cried, but I did definitely like my eyes did tear up. I'll
Yeah.
put it that way. And I legit thought I could kind of handle it like when I would rewatch it, but even the second time when I rewatched it, I was just like, oh, it just hit me again. And then even when I was like watching it this time around, this time like I wasn't like it didn't hit me as quite as the first time, but it was just one of those things that's like, oh, it still affects me. But yeah, it was a
Hmm.
very emotional. It was a very emotional episode. Yeah,
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting how different it is, though. Just like it's like a whole like thing, like he like in the Four Kids they're making it like he was an apprentice, he was a bad, he sucked at cooking, and then like finally he's leaving when he becomes the best cook. So yeah,
yeah,
it's just interesting how it's a little bit different.
yeah. But yeah, I mean the emotions. It was very
Yeah, the
emotional.
emotion's the same, but I
Yeah,
think and I didn't feel that sad. Because I think um Patty and Carney are like what made me not like get sad, just because they're acting so stupid.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
um, yeah, I don't know. Just seeing them cry was funny to me because they're such funny characters.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So all that was pretty much the same, and then kind of like as you're kind of sailing off, you hear Zeph kind of talk about what he has to do and how he'll eventually find the All Blue and stuff. So yep.
So it does end with the Nami preview or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Basically, they you see this one tall towering building, and then next thing you see like Nami finally reaching that place. So yep.
Got it. Alrighty. Well, that is it for episode 29 from Four Kids, episode 30 from yours. Do you have the title of yours by chance?
Yeah, I do. I think one second. The title on my end is "Set Sail." The seafaring cook sets off with Luffy.
Got it. Yep. Well, I think this was like the first time in a while. Mine was, I mentioned it earlier, but mine was New Crew. Um, yeah, I guess this is like one of the first episode names in a while that wasn't too much of a pun. I mean, New and Crew rhyme, but it wasn't as funny as Crack of Dawn, Blitzkrieg, Here We Go Again, Pearl Jam. Let's see, what are some of the other good ones that there were? The Cat's Ninth Life, The Perfect Plan, uh,
So no
the
puns.
the Bluff and Bluffer. I still don't get that one. Oh, the Bluff and the Bluffer. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so no puns. Yeah,
No
but
dad joke.
yeah. We'll see what the next episode's called. I actually have no clue what it's going to be called from Four Kids In. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Actually, the next arc that we're going to is actually the. I'd honestly say this is probably, well, there, yeah. No, I'll say it. This is like the biggest. It's the. mm, I'm struggling. Like it's like the big baddie of this saga. In my opinion, I think it's the big baddie of this saga. Of this like East Blue saga. Not the whole series, but of this particular saga. Yeah.
Got it. It should be interesting.